I wasted my youth. I wasted so many years, and now it's too late. If someone had warned me when I was young, I would have listened. I truly would. I spent decades believing time would forgive me, but time remembers every ignored decision.
My name is Samuel, and I'm 99 years old. Funny enough, when you live this long, people expect you to have answers.
They assume you figured life out early. The truth is, most of what I understand now came far too late.
It took me 70 years of living, working, earning, spending, and losing before something finally became clear to me.
And by the time it did, most of my life was already behind me. I'm not here to motivate you. I'm not here because I'm proud of how I lived.
I'm here because I don't want you to reach my age and realize what I did when time is no longer on your side.
When I was young, money felt simple. You worked, you earned, you spent, and life moved on. No one talked about investing. No one explained time. No one explained what money could become if you treated it with patience and respect. We were told to work hard, stay loyal, and everything would work out. I believed that. I believed it completely. In my 20s, money felt like something that came and went. I didn't think about the future because the future felt far away. I believed youth would last. I believed opportunity would always return. I believed that if something didn't work out today, there would be another chance tomorrow. No one warned me that money behaves very differently when time is involved. I grew up in a world where survival mattered more than strategy. My parents lived paycheck to paycheck, so did their parents. We didn't talk about wealth, we talked about getting by. We were taught to avoid debt, keep our heads down, and not take risks. Investing sounded like gambling. Business sounded unstable. The safest path was a steady job, a small home, and a simple life. That's what I wanted. When I started working, I felt proud just to earn a salary. That first paycheck made me feel like I had made it. I didn't ask questions about growth or ownership. I didn't wonder where my money could go. I thought saving was enough. I believed that if I didn't lose money, I was doing well. I spent most of my early adult life trading time for income. I worked long hours. I stayed loyal to employers who never stayed loyal to me. When raises came, I spent them. When bonuses came, I treated them like rewards, not opportunities. I bought comfort. I bought convenience. I bought things that made life easier in the moment and harder in the long run. I avoided anything that felt uncomfortable. I avoided learning about investing because it felt complicated. I avoided business because it felt risky. I avoided conversations about money because they made me feel ignorant. I told myself I would learn later. Later became decades. In my 30s, I started earning more. That should have been the turning point. Instead, it became the trap. As income increased, so did spending. Better clothes, better meals, a better lifestyle. I felt successful because my life looked better on the outside. Inside, nothing was growing. I didn't understand that money has seasons. What you do with money in your 20s and 30s matters far more than what you do with it later. At the time, I thought I had plenty of years to fix things. I didn't realize that time itself was doing the work I was ignoring. I watched opportunities pass me by without recognizing them. Friends invested in small businesses. Some bought property. Some took risks that made me uncomfortable. I told myself they were lucky. I told myself I was smarter for being cautious. I told myself stability was the goal. What I didn't see was that stability without growth slowly becomes stagnation. In my 40s, life became heavier. Responsibilities grew, children, bills, expectations. Retirement still felt distant, but it was no longer invisible. I began saving more seriously, but saving alone doesn't create freedom. It only delays discomfort. I still didn't understand how money could work without me. I trusted systems instead of understanding them. I trusted pensions without questioning sustainability. I trusted insurance without reading the details. I trusted that retirement would somehow make sense when I arrived. I was wrong. The turning point didn't come suddenly. It came quietly. One year I realized I had worked for decades, yet nothing truly belonged to me. My time was gone, my energy was fading, my money had not multiplied. I began to feel uneasy, but I didn't know why. In my 50s, I finally started paying attention. I read articles, I listened to conversations I once ignored. I learned words I should have learned 30 years earlier: investing, compounding, risk management, diversification. All the things that sounded dangerous when I was young now sounded necessary, but the math had changed. Time was no longer generous. That's when regret first appeared. Not sharp regret, but quiet regret. The kind that sits with you at night, the kind that whispers, "If only you had started earlier." I realized that the same actions taken at 25 produce completely different outcomes than at 55. Money obeys time. And time was no longer obeying me. I made mistakes trying to catch up. I took risks I didn't fully understand. I trusted people I shouldn't have. I chased returns instead of building foundations. Fear and desperation make poor advisors. I lost money I couldn't afford to lose, not because investing is wrong, but because I waited too long to learn properly. By the time I reached my 60s, the truth was unavoidable. Retirement wasn't a reward, it was a reckoning. I had enough to survive, but not enough to feel secure. I had worked most of my life, yet freedom remained out of reach. The weight of every decision I postponed now rested on my shoulders. This is where the real lesson finally became clear to me. Money is not just about income. It's not about working harder. It's not even about intelligence. It's about timing. It's about understanding that money, when treated properly early, becomes something entirely different later. When ignored early, it becomes a burden. I learned that youth is not just energy. Youth is leverage. Youth is time doing the heavy lifting while you sleep. Every year you delay understanding money, you increase the effort required later. The mistake I made was believing I could fix everything with effort alone. No one explained to me that money rewards consistency more than intensity, that small disciplined actions over long periods quietly outperform dramatic decisions made late. I chased certainty when I should have respected uncertainty. I avoided risk instead of managing it. Insurance was another lesson I learned too late. I treated it as an expense instead of protection. When life changed suddenly, I realized how fragile my plans were. Retirement planning wasn't about reaching an age, it was about preparing for unpredictability. I prepared for none of it. I also learned that debt isn't always the enemy, ignorance is. I avoided all debt, even productive debt, while freely spending money that could have been invested. I didn't understand the difference between consumption and construction. I built comfort instead of assets. If I could speak to my younger self, I wouldn't tell him to chase wealth. I would tell him to respect time. I would tell him to learn early, even when it feels unnecessary. I would tell him that boredom in financial habits is a gift, that excitement often hides danger. To anyone younger listening to this, I won't tell you what to invest in. I won't tell you how to get rich. I won't pretend there's one right path. What I will tell you is this: learn how money works before life forces you to. Start understanding finances when the stakes feel small. Learn while mistakes are recoverable. Build habits before pressure arrives. Don't wait for clarity. Clarity comes after action, not before. I waited 70 years to understand this. By then, the lesson was expensive, quiet, and irreversible. I don't regret my life, but I regret my delay. Delay costs more than failure ever will. Now at 99, I don't need much, but I see clearly. Money is a tool that respects preparation and punishes neglect. It doesn't care about intentions. It only responds to decisions made consistently over time. If there's one thing I wish someone told me sooner, it's this: the best time to learn about money is when you think you don't need to, because one day you will. And by then, time may already have taken its share.